Thank you so much for joining. My name is Douglas Aze. I want to talk about trust versus wills. So important that you know the difference and what happens, right? When we're dealing with that world of trust. Should I have a trust? Should I have a will? So I'm going to share my screen a few. I'm going to show you some things in there. I'm going to help you understand the difference so you know, and also you can start making sure that if you are made an executor of a will, so you understand what responsibility that really is. And maybe it's time to have a different conversation with that person. Okay. So in my book, in chapter 4, I talk about estate planning. All right. Very, very important part. You know why? Because everybody talks about creating generational wealth, right? Everyone talks about, I want to create generational wealth. I want to build wealth for my family. I want to do this. I want to do that. Sounds great. I love it. Great idea. Great conversation to have. But then here's the problem. You built up all this money and something happens. And what do? You have a business, your family members are doing well, your business is thriving, you've bought all these real estate properties, you're doing well, and then death happens, or you are not able to perform your duties. So that's a big problem, right? Then guess who comes in? There's something called inheritance and estate taxes comes in and takes everything. And probably about 60 to 70% of your hard-earned wealth will go to the government. Why? And why? Because you just didn't have this proper structure. That's the motivation right in the book. So first things first, you got to remember this. A will, nothing wrong with it. The only problem is you just got to understand what it does, right? So what is a will? A will just says, you know what, I'm going to put stuff in paper to make sure if I pass away, my family members will be able to continue living and doing the things I want. And I want them to have this information. I want them to have this. I want them to have this. I want them to have that. Sounds great. Unfortunately, a judge has to make a decision on the document you just put together. And if somebody should contest the will, right? If someone should contest the will, then it's a big problem. Then now it's going to sit in probate court for 6 months, a year. So many, I mean, sometimes it could go for years, right? But guess who's making money at the end? The lawyers. They get paid because they don't mind. They could drag it on for as long as they want. They get paid. And guess who else? Anyone else that you owe money before you pass, your debt collectors are going to be in line before your family members actually get the money that you left for them or whatever assets you're leaving for them. Before they get it, guess what? The lawyers and the debt collectors, oh, if I come in line, I could come in and put my name on your list, because again, that's what a will does. So of course it's better to have a will than not having anything at all, because some people don't have anything. I know some of you probably listening to my voice, you might not even have a will. You just living, you just doing stuff, you don't have a will. Now in my book, Creating Generational Wealth, there's a diagram here, right? And in this diagram we talk about the difference between trust. I actually solicited an attorney of mine, a good friend of mine. He wrote some stuff on here. He's an estate attorney, does wills and stuff like that as well, and trust, mostly trust. He does a lot of that, mostly living trust. So let me explain. So there's over 80 types of trust in America, 80 different, well, not just in America, all over the world, 80 different types of trust. So when it comes to a trust document, what is that? What is that? I hear about trust all the time. Some people think it's a trust child or whatever the case might be. I hear about that. I have there's different types. So, well, of course, this is what I call a living trust. So in my book, let's kind of break it down. So I'm going to read through it. So it says trust versus will differences. What is the difference between having a will and having a trust? I commonly use the following chart to help people understand the difference between wills and trust. So wills, probate costs 3 to 10%. Time of probate, 6 to 14 months. Guardianship planning, nope, there's none of that. Privacy of affairs, nope, none of that. Which means all your stuff is public record. Everybody knows your business, folks. Everyone knows your business, everyone. So understanding that everyone knows your business, what do? You got to understand that then in the fact that they do, you already, you can't have people all up in your business. Hey, Joseph, how are you? Sabrina, thank you for joining. So you got to be private, very, very private. So you don't need the world to know what's going on with you. But a trust, on the other hand, probate cost is zero. There's no probate. Time of probate, zero. Guardianship planning, yes. Privacy of affairs, yes. See that? Just that alone should make you want to get a trust, right? But then, of course, can everybody just jump and go get a trust? Well, my buddy, attorney Joseph Pippin, says he normally recommends you getting a trust if your assets is over $75,000 in asset, stuff that you're gonna live behind. $75,000. So yeah, you could get a trust. Now, sometimes wills are great. It could go fast. If there's nobody contesting, you go to court. This is what happens in a court case when that happens. You go to court, your family members go to court, right? Because you're gone. You're out of here. They go to court, and what happens? The judge says, okay, is there a will or trust in place? And you say, yeah, we have a will in place. All right, let's see the will document. And he reads the will. And then if anything, if there's nobody contesting, then he puts a judge, easy breezy. Fine. Is there trust in place? Yes, there's a trust in place. We give him the trust document. He starts reading it. Okay, cool. So let me explain something to you. A trust, the government says a trust is a living, breathing human. Well, it doesn't breathe. It's a person. A trust is a person. It's an individual. It could do anything a human being can do except talk, walk, eat food, or nothing. So it doesn't do any of that. But it's a document that lives on. So all your wishes will be in that document. And that's what the judge is going to go by. That's why there's no probate cost, so you don't have to open up a probate case. Now, of course, a trust costs more than a regular will, right? It costs more than it, of course. See, it's so funny. Some people hit me up sometimes and say, Douglas, I want to be wealthy. I want to do this, and I want to do this, do that. And we tell them, okay, this is how much it's going to cost you to do. We're like, what? I got to pay all that money? I say, yeah, it costs you money. You can't, say you want to be wealthy and don't want to pay to play. Come on, man, stop. All right, explanation. Let's go into the explanation. So probate cost. Here it is. When things go into probate, attorney fees range from 3 to 10% of the estate. Personal representative, i.e. executors, are also entitled to a fee. So a lot of you, and the reason I wanted to have that conversation is so many people you're put in place to be the executor of a will, but you really don't understand what you're about to get involved in, which means if somebody dies, now you have to handle everything, the real estate, their bank account. You got to be driving, dealing with crazy family members and talking to them. So much stress, folks. Do you want that headache? And then they're not paying you for it? Come on, dude. Listen, if somebody says to you, I don't care who it is, your parent, whoever the case might be, ask them, hey, all right, I don't mind being the executor of your estate, but you need to have life insurance or something on them to make sure you get some money. Get some money out of the deal. Come on, don't just do it because it's a lot of work. I know you love them. I know you're in love. You start crying. But listen, they're gone, moved on, and you should stop being scared of death. That's the problem. So many people are so scared of dying. Listen, don't be scared of that stuff. It's going to happen one day, right? One day it's going to go down. And when it happens, the question is, are you prepared? Did you prepare your family members when this stuff happens? So many people start a business, they're doing all this stuff, but you're not even prepared to make sure that your family members are taking care of your kids, your spouses. If you love all these people, you need to prepare and don't worry about, oh, I'm scared. I don't want to talk about that. That's the problem. Especially a lot of black folks, they don't want to talk about death. I don't want to talk about death, man. And then you go to church every day. Jesus Christ died too. He died too. Come on. What do you mean you don't want to talk about death? Death is going to happen. So understand it, know it, and plan. All right, let me continue. We won't get to that. So executor, remember, you got to charge a fee because you're going to be doing work. Time. Probate usually takes from 6 to 12 months and sometimes much longer. Problem. Guardianship planning. Wills are instruments that give instructions upon death. Wills do not do anything for guardianship planning. Privacy. Upon death, wills are recorded and the public may review or buy copies of them. See, I'm very private when it comes to, you know, a lot of things. You know, there's some of this stuff you all don't even know that I got going on. You know, but there's some I let you see. You know why? Because it's just the world, the way the world is. So I also want to make sure that when something happens, guess what? You don't have to know who I give stuff to. The public may also buy copies of deeds. See that? Deeds, mortgages, lawsuits, etc. Therefore, wills are a matter of public record. Woo, folks, understand this, right? You know, like one of my good friends says this, there's no such thing as good news or bad news. It's only news. It's bad news to the person that is happening to. It's good news to the person that got the money to take advantage of the situation. Now, let's talk about a trust. What are the benefits? Trust assets do not go through probate. Let me say that again. Trust assets do not go through probate. Thus, you save the attorney fees and the executor's fee. Trust assets may be distributed without attorney and court involvement, and therefore can be distributed much faster because a trust is a living, breathing document. It's like, all right, hey, you get this, okay, you get this. This is what he wants you to get. That's it. Very, very simple. Everything. This is who gets that. This who gets that done. No questions asked. Nobody contests it. You contest, nobody's going to listen. Now, understand this. Also depend on the type of trust too. Some of them might be challenged. They could be challenged. They ain't like, nothing is, you know, airtight. They could be challenged. You know, it can. That's a different training. We'll talk more. Your trust names, name someone who can manage your affairs upon your incapacity without a court-appointed guardian. This could save a substantial amount of time and money in guardianship fees. Trusts generally do not have to be recorded. Thus, the public does not know the content of the document. See that? So, folks, if you have a parent, and that one I want to talk about, see, your parent is still alive. A lot of you young folk, you know, you have your parents, you're doing your thing, and you've never had this discussion with them. You should have this discussion. It's so important, folks, because at the end of the day, why ain't you having that conversation? So understand this. You know, I always encourage a lot of my clients, listen, just put life insurance on your parents, right? Invest in that. Put life insurance on them, because why not? You know, we talk about this generational wealth building, and most of us miss out on the big picture, which is a life insurance contract. Life insurance basically is, I call it a guaranteed lottery ticket. Things are going to happen. It's going to pay out. That's the only vehicle. See, you could give, let me give you all a secret real quick. You could make somebody a beneficiary of a life insurance policy and nobody will know they're getting the money. See, the insurance company will never disclose who the other beneficiary is. See, only the person that is for example, if you have an executor of an estate, right? For example, and that's the person, if the judge appoints them, and, you know, and for whatever reason, somebody needs to contact the insurance company. Now, up to extent, they might give them a little bit of information and say, well, we can't really talk to you. Can you give us the number of the beneficiary, please? They're not going to disclose, because, you know, if you're an executive of a will, I'll give you all an example. When I was coming up in this business, and I didn't know much. I didn't know about trust. I didn't know about wills. I didn't know any of that. So I had a client, and this particular client, she owned a very, very nice restaurant, you know, Jamaican restaurant, older lady, and I went with her. I went to do a presentation, and she ended up buying some life insurance policy with me, $500,000. Fast forward 2.5 years later, she died. Boom. She has 4 children. and she made them all beneficiary. I didn't know anything. That's why it's so important to learn in this industry. But back then I was young, I didn't know anything. I just sold the policy, and it was term insurance. I sold term, $500,000. So one child, she said, well, she's good. I don't need to do anything for that person because they're doing well. They're married, they're doing awesome. And then she made the same child the executor of her estate, right? But she didn't put that person on the will. So when the person called me and said, hey, our mom just passed away, and I see you, the agent, I'm handling all the affairs. I know she has life insurance with you. I said, sure, okay, cool. Let me make a claim. We're gonna file a claim. So I called the insurance company and I looked and I asked the name, and I looked and I went in and I looked at, called the insurance company and said, oh, who are the beneficiaries on here? And they told me all the beneficiaries. I looked it up. I said, okay, cool. That person's name wasn't on the list. So guess what? I couldn't give them any more information. I just said, yeah, I understand you're the executor, but you're not in the insurance policy. You're not the beneficiary. I can't really give you any more information. She's like, what? I'm not the beneficiary of the life. I said, nah, you're not. I can't give you any more information. I'm sorry. She's like, what? Well, she was upset. And the other people, the other kids that the mom left monies to, all of them got money. And this young girl didn't get anything. And guess what happened to the business? The business died with the mother. Now, I blame myself for it because, again, I was young in the business and I didn't know anything. But that's, after that happened, I say, you know what? I would never let that crap happen to me ever, 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 ever again. So we have this conversation. That's why I wrote this book also, because it's so important for people to see. Because you have a business, you think you're doing it, you're killing it, until something happens and you're looking down and you're like, man, I lost it. So it changed my whole business world. I started researching wealthy families. I started to understand because I was just sick and tired of just listening to the jokers that say that were training me. I said, nah, I can't listen to these people because they didn't give me enough training to help this family. I wish I knew better. So I changed my circle of mentors. Basically, that's what I did, and changed my life. All right. So understand that it's so important, folks. So important. So again, a trust, protects against loss or estate in a divorce. Depend. Yeah, it does. It does. There's over 80 different types of trust, of course, but it kind of, depending on what it is. But it's a good one to have if you're going through a divorce and stuff like that. The right one. But that's a different conversation. We're not going to get into all that. But so, hey, by the way, you need to get this copy of this book. I'm not going to be here on too long because I just wanted to hit this up real quick. Get a copy of this book. Go to creatinggenerationalwealth.info or go to Amazon. Get it from my website, creatinggenerationalwealth.info. I think it might be down. For some reason, that website might be down. I don't know what's going on. I've talked to my IT people. They should be fixing it in a few. But creatinggenerationalwealth.info. Get this book. When you order it from my website, then I know you order it. Then I'm going to send you this book. Let me see what's going on. I'm going to send you this one here. Let me see. I'm using this virtual screen, folks. Oh, you can't see my book. Oh, okay. Yeah, you see it now. Smart Retirement. I'll send this to you for free as well. So you're getting 2 for the price of 1, right? You're going to get 2 books for the price of 1. So I don't have a lot of copies of this. So make sure you order. Once you get this, you get this. All right. So I probably have about maybe enough to send out maybe 60 or something like that, I think, of this. So this is one of my great friends wrote this book. So I'll give it away to you. Smart Retirement. Read it. You're going to enjoy it. Get a copy of the book. And you get this. You get 2. Package deal. This is my Thanksgiving gift to you. To say thank you for all you do. Yeah, and keep learning. It's $20 for the book. I'll sign it, when you order it. But do it quickly because I'm traveling a few and I won't be here to, if you order it, a couple, I might not be here to sign it for you. We'll just ship it to you. So make sure you do it for between now and the next 2 weeks. Order it right now. Go to creatinggenerationalwealth.info and get it. And you're going to get 2 books. Great book. I read this. Look at what it says. Smart Retirement. How many of you want to retire? You want to get this book. My good friend, Matt Zagula, wrote this book. Awesome guy. Awesome book, very successful individual, you know. So get it. All right, folks, listen, I appreciate you all joining again. Listen, it's all about your financial future. Let me see if there's any question. I'm looking at the thing on here. Angelina, how are you? Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. We educate daily. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, Great information. Okay, cool, cool, awesome, folks. Good stuff. Hey, make sure you all share this. Might bless somebody. Again, there's tons of information on here about creating generational wealth. It's not just talking about it. You got to understand the foundation you need to lay out and get it together for your families. Just think about something, for example, you know, I talk about life insurance a lot, and most of you like, well, why life insurance? Why life insurance? Listen, life insurance is a garage to park money. That's what it is. It's not an investment. It's none of that. It's a garage to park money. Go watch my YouTube videos and you understand what I mean by that when I say it's a garage to park money, so that you could take advantage of opportunities when they present themselves. All right. Don't ever be in a hurry to jump into something. The most important thing, get your money up. All right, folks, get your money up. There's always going to be opportunities. If you don't know, if you didn't get anything out of what I'm about to say to you right now, get this part. There's always going to be opportunities. The question to you is, when the opportunity presents itself, will you be ready? Will you have the money to jump into that opportunity and take advantage of it? Will you? So that's all I'm going to leave you with. Again, thank you. I appreciate you all. We'll end this right now. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night. Take care and bye-bye.